We're ready for health today, being Tuesday, April 14th. Today, in our health lesson, we're going to be studying pages 55 to 57 today. Go ahead and turn there. We'll be talking about food storage and safety today, how to store our food so that they won't make us sick. So let's look at page 55. Healthy habits and you. Food safety. There is more to healthy eating than choosing nutritious foods. Nutrients can be lost and germs can multiply while foods are being stored or cooked. Eating spoiled food can make you very sick. Following food safety tips will keep the foods we choose to eat nutritious and safe. I don't think we have any problems with anybody wanting to eat spoiled food. I mean, thank goodness that God has given us senses. We can see if something looks like it's old, like a strawberry, if you have mold on it. We can see that and like, oh, no. Or if we open up a container like milk or a bottle, we have the sense of smell. Oh, no, that we don't need to eat that. Thank goodness. But if all that fails and it gets into your mouth, if it doesn't taste right, I mean, you just got to know that it's not good for you. No matter how bad you want it, just put it aside, okay? So let's look at food storage. Food that is picked fresh from your garden or bought at a supermarket must be stored properly. Unripe fresh fruit can be left at room temperature until it ripens. Once ripened, most fruits and vegetables should be stored in the crisper drawer of the refrigerator. Storing in cooler temperatures prevents losing vitamins better than storing at room temperature. Keeping foods cold will also keep germs from multiplying. Ripe fruits and vegetables should be eaten as soon as possible. The longer they are stored, even in the refrigerator, the more vitamins they will lose. Many fruits and vegetables can be frozen for even longer safe storage. Sometimes if we have bananas and they're starting to ripen, I'll either, number one, make some banana bread, or I'll slice them up, put them in a little freezer bag, and throw them in the freezer. Strawberries, the same way. You can freeze those fruits as well. The temperature of your refrigerator should be between 35 degrees Fahrenheit and 40 degrees Fahrenheit for proper storage. Super cold, right? To us. The freezer section of the refrigerator should be lower than 0 degrees Fahrenheit. Your parents can adjust the settings of each section so that they keep food fresh or frozen at the right temperature. Ask your parents to help you check the temperature of your refrigerator and freezer with a thermometer to see if they're cold enough. So how at the bottom the refrigerator should be between 35 and 40 degrees. And the freezer section, 0 degrees. All right. Let's turn the page. Page 56, that first paragraph. Lucy. Hey, Lucy. Hope you're having a good day. Will you read that first paragraph when possible? Thank you, Lucy. Meats should also be stored in the refrigerator or freezer. Raw meats that will be used within a few days can be kept in the refrigerator. If your refrigerator has a temperature-controlled meat drawer, it should be stored there. It can also be stored in the coldest part of the refrigerator, usually the back of the bottom shelf. Remember, meat labels usually include dates to help you know how long the meat will be safe to keep in the refrigerator. To store meats longer than a few days, freeze them. And of course, we also have these two senses of sight and smell. If we're not sure about, I don't know about the date, it kind of rubbed off or whatever. If it smells bad or if it looks discolored, it needs to go out. Okay, so I'm sure that your parents are well versed in keeping up with our food storage here of late. Okay, so let's look at food preparation. When you are ready to prepare fruits, vegetables, and meats for a meal or snack, follow safe preparation tips. Always wash fresh fruits and vegetables because of germs and chemicals that might be on them. You know, guys, apples, oranges, stuff sitting out in the market, the grocery store, wherever. You know, people may walk by and sneeze. I mean, they cough. I mean, they don't mean to, but that gets on those fruits and vegetables. So we need to be sure that we're washing them and making sure that they're clean when we eat them. Next paragraph. Jillian. Hey, Jilly. If you'll read frozen meats. Thawed. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's some good information. Thank you, Jill, about how to. We have frozen meats. It needs to be thawed in the refrigerator. You know, not a good idea to set them on the kitchen counter. At room temperature. Proper cooking methods can also keep food safe, especially meats. Follow any safety instructions included on meat labels to ensure that the meat is cooked to a safe temperature to kill germs. Germs can also spoil cooked foods. Do not eat any cooked food that has been left out of the refrigerator for more than 2 hours. Eating spoiled food can make you very sick from food poisoning. So just please be careful. Again, if something doesn't look right or smell right or taste right, just spit it out. Just let your mom, dad, whoever's there know, hey, I don't know if this is, still acceptable to eat. It doesn't smell right. I mean, you're smart. You're smart boys and girls, and I mean, God's given us a lot of precautionary senses before it actually gets into our mouth and goes down into our stomach. So once it's in there, it's too late. So just be careful with the foods that you're choosing to eat. All right, let's look at our comprehension check, page 57. The longer you store fruits and vegetables, the more what they lose? The more vitamins. That's right. The food begins to break down. It's not as new, as crisp. It's just losing vitamins. It's starting to just, break down. It's a good word there. Number 2, for proper food storage, the blank should be kept between 35 degrees Fahrenheit and 40 degrees Fahrenheit. The refrigerator, right. The refrigerator is this. The freezer is the 0 degrees or below because you want it to stay frozen. You don't want things in the freezer to unthaw and rethaw and unthaw. That's not safe food practice there. Number 3, why should you wash fresh fruits and vegetables before you eat them? To wash away what? Germs or chemicals. That's right. Sometimes, when vegetables and fruits are growing, chemicals are sprayed on them for bugs and different things, and just want to be sure you clean them. Okay? I'm sure you guys practice that. Things like strawberries, you can store them, and then when you're ready to eat them, wash them then. Because sometimes if you wash them and put them in the refrigerator, if you don't eat them right away, the strawberry, they'll start breaking down. They don't sit well in moisture. Number 4, why is it important to store food? Why is it important to store and prepare foods properly? Right, you don't want to get sick. Number 1, you don't want the food to spoil. It kills germs. That's right. You keep them fresh. But to me, my reasoning for storing and preparing foods is because I don't want to get sick or to make anyone sick that I'm preparing food for. So I want to be sure that I'm taking steps to ensure that my foods have been washed and they're clean, and I have a clean surface that I'm cutting up vegetables and fruits and things on, and washing my hands well, because we just don't want to get sick from food poisoning. Okay. You can see the picture there on page 57. He's washing, looks like maybe asparagus or green beans. I can't tell. And then they're cutting some. She has a cutting board she's using there. Need to have a cutting board for fruits and vegetables and a cutting board for meats. All right. All right. So that is our study today of healthy habits. Tomorrow we will study pages 58. This section, how illnesses can spread. So we'll talk about good hygiene, which I'm sure you guys have heard a lot about, washing your hands and being healthy. But tomorrow we'll talk about how illnesses can spread. All right. So that is it for our health lesson today. So we are ready for history, our last subject of the day.